So one of the big topics of the day is cybercrime, and I'm absolutely delighted now to be joined by former Homeland Security Secretary Michael Chertoff and Executive Director here at the IACP, Bart. Gentlemen, welcome.
Happy to be
Thank
here.
you. Great to be here.
So let's start off with the issue of cybercrime. How big an issue is cybercrime right now?
Well, of course, we're seeing traditional crime involving identity theft, changing ATM cards so you can eliminate the withdrawal limits, extortion, threatening to release sensitive information, but also in the world of terrorism, we've begun to see even the possibility of destructive attacks against critical infrastructure using cyber networks as a way of disabling the way critical machines and networks operate.
And is this a growing problem?
I would say from a national security standpoint, this is probably the biggest, most serious threat we face. Everything is connected. More and more things and devices are connected wirelessly, and every one of those connections creates a potential vulnerability to being sabotaged or being used to steal valuable information.
Now, Bart, from a law enforcement perspective, how do we tackle cybercrime?
Sure, I couldn't agree more with Secretary Chertoff as it relates to cyber-enabled crime and then the national security threat. I think you know that law enforcement deals on a regular basis with cyber-enabled crime. There's not a crime committed these days that does not involve a computer, a handheld device, or a personal device. But they're not as familiar with the national security threat and what it's doing to our country, our economy, and the infrastructure. And that's what we at the IACP are addressing with the federal government to make them aware of the threat, who the actors are, and really what they're trying to accomplish during these attacks.
So how can we actually keep ahead of the game here? There's technological developments all the time. How do we get ahead of it?
Well, there's no question that a big piece of this is technical. It's the ability to update your antivirus protections, configure your system so you know what's going on in the network, what's coming in, what's going out. But a lot of it is still good old-fashioned human education, not becoming a victim to the kinds of frauds that people often use to gain access to a network. For example, social engineering, where people learn something about you as a victim, and then they use that as a way to pretend to be a friend or a business associate. So some of it is plain and simple education, training, and reminders to people who are on the network.
Well, gentlemen, thank you, and thank you for taking the time to talk to us today on IACP TV.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.